Hey guys. When you get on, just say hi. And then if you are watching this later on, say replay. And we'll wait a second to see if some people hop on, and if they don't, I think that's because they're preparing for the Zoom at 8:30. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, you don't. If you guys just want to say hi, make sure I'm in the right group, because I think that is like always one of the biggest fears of mine. For sure. Let's see here. Couple people are hopping on and getting some hearts, so maybe I'm in the right place. Tonight we're gonna talk about one of my favorite things ever, and that is leadership. Leadership. And I want you guys to understand that leadership is not that scary. I promise it's not. Leadership is so rewarding, but it is a lot. Thank you. You're so freaking sweet, Chanel. Freaking love you, dude. Was way overdue for that haircut. You know, like when you can just tell your hair just needs to be chopped. It just needs to be chopped, and I feel like a free soul. Okay, yay. So we got some peeps on, and we are gonna get started because I want to upload this to YouTube. So, leadership. I feel like this is probably one of the main things that if you are getting people on your team, which you are because you wouldn't be doing this without it, you more than likely all have people under you. I want you to understand that leadership is the biggest thing in the entire world when it comes to you having a team. Now, this can mean, can you all remind me how to get the comments away, because I'm very squirrely and I don't know why I can never remember how to do that. Oh, I got it. Never mind. Sorry. Okay, so I will wait for questions till the end because I'm just a squirrely brain like that, and when I get going, I get going. So I am so ready. I'm so excited. I've been talking to Mallory a lot about this today, and I've just been so excited. I would say the number one most important thing about being a really good leader and showing great leadership is leading from the front. So leading from the front means that you are bringing people with you by leading, by showing them exactly how it's done. Now, this does not mean you have to be perfect. I am not perfect. None of us leaders are perfect. You guys aren't perfect. We're never going to be perfect. But there's a difference in being perfect and being present. And I want you to be present because that is big. That's a huge thing. So show up, be present, be an example for your team to be like, you know what, she's doing it the right way. Be that example for them. Be the kind of leader you wanted to have. And I don't mean necessarily like feel like you have to do all the things or any sort of way, but be the kind of leader that you would want to have. And so be one that's uplifting and empowering and inspiring and just all the things. So leading from the front is huge. So you can't really expect your team, you can't really expect those under you to be having this crazy PRV if you're barely active every month. If you're barely active any month, you're not being a very good example. And so it's pretty much, you have to make sure that you are taking care of your business before you are doing anything else. So that is part of leadership. And yes, you need to give and give and give and give more than you take. But if you are not taking care of you and you are not taking care of your customers, if you're not taking care of your PRV, it's going to be very hard to lead from the front because you're not going to have the PRV you need to be showing them as a prime example. You're not going to have the new people joining you to show them as an example of continuing to share the opportunity. Just show them the way, share opportunities, have people join you, have high PRV. So if you say all those things are maybe a problem within your team, sometimes you have to reflect on yourself and say, am I doing what I need to be doing to lead from the front? And if you aren't, then make that a priority. I love to, every single month, the first week of the month, mainly the entire first week, I am 95% focused on my business. And that is not to be selfish. That is to make sure that I'm taking care of my business. Because if I don't take care of my business, I'm not showing them a good example on how to be a good leader and take care of my business. So in the first week of the month, I always make sure I have my ways I'm getting PRV for the month, what I have scheduled for the month, making sure I get my business in line, making sure I'm taking care of my customers, all the things. So just make sure you're taking time for your business. Do not think that leadership is where you have to completely stop focusing on your business and just, 95% of the time focus on your team. It cannot be that way, because Cincy is not always going to be something for everyone on your team for the rest of their life. You're not going to have the same people in a year that you have right now. Not all of them. You're going to have some of them, but you're not going to have all of them. So just remember that you got to continue to build your team. Build your team. You got to continue to share the opportunity, and you have to continue to have a really successful business. So take care of you the first month. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Always remember that. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So the second thing, big thing besides leading from the front, is setting a culture from the very freaking beginning. And if you haven't set that culture right, yet, I want you to set it right now. So when you think about it, what do you want your team to know is your standards, is your culture, is what you thrive with, is what you stand for. So everyone knows I stand for positivity and empowerment and encouragement and helping others, and having no excuses and working and dreaming big. Just all these different things that I have set my culture for myself from the very beginning, and so I have then set it upon my team, and it's kind of trickled down. So if you set it from the beginning, it's something that you can continue on, and you will see it throughout your team, and you will be able to see, oh my gosh, it's everything I'm showing them, they are showing their teammates, and then their teammates are showing their teammates, and it's just trickling down. It's a trickle down effect, and it is amazing. Your culture is a huge part of everything. I mean, I once heard, it's really hard for people to walk away from a community and a culture that they love. So create a great culture that people can say, you know what, I love being a part of the Cincy community because of the culture that Autumn gives us. Like, I want to instill that within my team, and I want my team to love that too. It means the absolute world to me to be able to empower so many other people, and that's kind of the culture I have set. And I'm kind of like a no drama llama. I don't deal with drama. Everybody knows that, so nobody usually brings it my way. I'm full of positivity. So it's kind of like what energy you put into your group is kind of the energy you're going to receive back. So do not reward bad behavior. Don't do it. You want to reward and recognize the behavior you want repeated. Okay, so always remember that. You want to reward and recognize the things that you want repeated. So that is where, if somebody's doing something really awesome and really positive, send them a text message and say, I just freaking love what you did here. This is amazing. I love it. Recognize that. But if someone is being super negative and there's nothing you can do about it, honestly, it's not worth my peace. Bless and release, peace out. I might have my tantrum and be like, oh my God, I can't believe that just happened for 10 minutes so I can process it. But bless and release, because there are so many people out there that deserve your energy, and those that are not being nice or just negative, you don't deserve that, and you don't need to be putting your energy or time into it. So set that culture early. So because everybody knows I don't feed into drama or negativity, like 99% of the time I don't deal with it. I'm not saying I never have, but everybody kind of knows that's my culture. So another thing is setting up boundaries. Boundaries are part of that culture too. So boundaries being, when do you respond to people? How fast do you respond to people? Boundaries being, what do you feed into? What do you not feed into? Just make sure that you're setting up those boundaries, because again, you cannot pour from an empty cup. And if you are staying up until 1 o'clock in the morning, messaging people back, and let's say it's a Sunday and you're enjoying it with your family and they're messaging you at 10 o'clock at night. Don't message them back. Don't. Do not reward that behavior, because if you do that, then, you know, they need to learn boundaries, and the best way to learn boundaries is by you setting them. So set the boundaries. And I'm not saying you gotta do exactly what I do, but you know, you have to make time for you. You have to make time for your family, for your downtime, some self-care, so you cannot constantly be texting back all the time, as soon as they have an answer. Seriously, y'all, teach a man to fish and you feed him. Teach a man to fish. You know how I am with my quotes. Teach a man to fish, and you can feed him for a lifetime. If you catch a man a fish, you'll feed him for a night. So I want you to think about that. I might have mixed it up a little bit, but it goes in that way. And I want you to seriously think about that in a way of, yes, we are here to lead. Yes, we're here to help. Yes, we're here to give advice. But if somebody's asking a question and you're just giving them the answer, you're never going to truly teach them how to go out there and try to find their answers. You're never going to teach them how to go out there and search for YouTube trainings on things they need help with. You're never going to teach them how to truly lead themselves and lead their team if you're constantly giving them answers. So yes, if they're asking for advice on how you do this and that, yes, please help them. That's what we're here for. But when they're asking you something that you know, that you've seen, that had every single detail to it, direct them in that way. Lead them to the answer. Don't give it to them. Lead them to the answer. Show them how they can find that answer. Because if you show them how they can find that answer, next time that they need to find an answer to something, they're probably going to do it exactly how you showed them, led them how to find it. So then they're going to be looking on YouTube. They're going to be looking in the group page. They're going to be looking for all these answers. And it's not because we don't want to help people, or we want to be mean, or we want to make them find the answers. It's more so we can help them lead themselves. Because we are not here to hold people's hands the entire way, all the way to their dreams and their goals. They are going to have to do some things alone. And they're going to have to figure out some stuff alone. So make them a little tough. You know, and it's not even being tough. It's more of showing them tough love, I guess. Give them a little tough love, because I've said this before, but I did not have, my sponsor quit within 2 months probably of me joining. And if I needed to know how to do something, I went to YouTube for everything. I was watching videos on my way to work, on my way home from work, constantly watching them. If I was struggling with PRV or struggling to book parties, I would look on YouTube, how to book parties with Cincy. The world that we live in, there is so many possibilities to find out how to do things everywhere. Our workstation, YouTube, there's just so many different things. So lead them in ways. Lead them. Show them, like if somebody says to me about something, I'll be like, yeah, I like to, if I'm struggling with this, then I'm going to go on YouTube and look it up. And just different things like that. Lead them, guys. Let's lead them. That's part of leading too. Lead. Do not just give them the answers. So, let's see here. Do not feed into negativity. We heard that. Recognition, told you about that. Reward good behavior. I honestly absolutely love just randomly texting one of my teammates and just saying, hey, you're doing awesome. So if there's somebody who has really high PRV, I like to shoot them a text and just say, hey, you're freaking rocking it this month. Just different things like that. Recognize people. Go to your reporting tab and recognize some people. Keep track of that and see, who's showing up, who's doing things. Reward that good behavior, because you want those things to be repeated, because they are getting closer and closer to their goals and their dreams. So remember, you do not have to be perfect. That is a huge thing. Don't think you have to be perfect. None of us are perfect, and none of us know everything. We don't know everything. We do not know everything. So if you think that you have to know everything to lead people right, that is untrue. You need to continue to grow, but you don't have to know everything. And you don't have to be perfect. You just need to be present, and you just need to show up. And you need to be there for them, and you need to recognize things and just be a good leader. Be the kind of leader you'd want to have show them some love. So what I'm about to show you guys or tell you guys right now is a huge, huge, huge thing. We are doing an accelerated leadership program if you're a director and above, and which you guys are soon to be directors. So we're doing this accelerated leadership program. It's kind of like this in a way, and we're doing this, and we had a training last week, and it was kind of like figuring out your why, but not just figuring out your why, but understanding your team's why. And when you bring new people onto your team, understanding their why too. So it's something that needs to be talked about. If people are joining, you need to be asking them, I love to ask, honestly, one of my biggest things to ask people are, what is your goal paycheck? What's your goal first paycheck? What is that going to be? Or what is it going to go towards? Or what could that do for your life? Getting to know them. So for an example, one of my newer girls, she actually told me she wanted to make $600 a month because she is going to be going to cosmetology school, and she wants to have that extra money to pay off cosmetology school. So I know that she wants to make $600. For me, that's easy to understand what she really wants, because she could have $2K in sales, all the things. So she has a really big goal. Now somebody else comes to me and they say, Autumn, I just want this to be a hobby. I just want to make, maybe $20 a month and get some free Scentsy. That's all. Okay. So I have a girl who wants to make $600 a month, and I have a girl who wants to make $10 a month, $20 a month. Okay. So I have those two. Now, if I'm watching a training and it's about how to have high PRV and all these different things, I'm not going to send it to both those girls. That girl who's a hobbyist don't give a crap about having high PRV right now. And she knows that if she changes one day and she does want to have high PRV, I'm here for her, because I made her feel okay with just making $20 a month. That's fine. I'm okay with that. That's what she wants out of this. That's what they want. It's not what I want. I'm not doing the Scentsy business for them. They're doing it for them. So whatever they want out of this, that's what they're going to get out of this. And I'm not going to put 95% of my time into somebody who doesn't want this, that just wants it to be a hobby. That's totally fine. But you have to understand what they want out of this and be okay with it. That's part of leadership too. You have to be okay. You have to be okay with the hobbyist. You have to understand that they don't want this big, and that's not up to you, and it's not a big deal. You can't make people want this. Now, of course, if that girl starts showing new interest and starts showing me she does want a little bit more, I'm going to have that conversation with her, and I'm going to say, hey, you've been showing up a lot more the last 5-6 months. You've been putting in a lot more PRV. Are you wanting to make a little bit more? And see how I can help them specifically. So make sure you're having those conversations in the very beginning and throughout their journey on what they want out of Scentsy, and making sure that you don't expect or push them to do any more than what they want, or any more than what the success that they want out of this. What's their definition of success? And be okay with it. Be okay with it, because that's what it's about. It's not about you. It's not about you earning incentives. It's not about you being a director because you're trying to push somebody who doesn't want it. So please, just know that. Just understand that. And the earlier you understand it, the easier it is, because then you're going to focus your time on that person that does want to make $600 a month, that does want to go big, that does want to do life-changing things. Focus on them because they want it, and they want you to focus on them. So help them believe in themselves. Obviously, that is one of my biggest things. Some people need that little just like push to believe in themselves. Just give it to them, but don't push anyone any more than what they want. And then, let's see here. One of my last thing, and if you were in the leadership page, with Mallory's group, we have a leadership page, and in there I put this today, and it was stop watering dead plants. So I heard that too on the training, and it was seriously like aha, like I knew this, but it was just such a good way of saying it. And meaning like, don't water those dead plants. Dead plants being the people who don't show up, the people who said they wanted this but haven't been active in 2 months or barely active, but they say they want to be a director. If people are not putting action and showing you they really do want something, more than likely they're just telling you that because they just want attention, your attention, or they think that's what you want to hear. And so you have to almost like sometimes see, okay, she said she wanted to be a director. It's 8 months later and she hasn't had anyone join her and she's barely been active. So see if it's matching up. See if what they say and what they do is matching up. Don't be putting time in those people day after day after day after day when they say they don't want it, when they show they don't want it, when you can see they don't want it. Stop bothering them. Send them an email once a month. Have them in your group email. Make sure that they're connected in some sort of way with you, that they know they can reach out. But do not push people to do any more than they want, and stop watering those dead plants. Stop it. If your team's not doing anything, your team's not motivated, bring on new team members. Bring on new people who want this. Because those people 6 months ago that wanted it probably don't all want it now anymore. And you're going to have to bring on new people. And that's part of what we do as leaders here. And that's part of it. If you want to do Cincy full time, you're going to continuously be growing. And you never stop growing. So do not focus on those dead plants. Focus on those new ones. Focus on building those seeds. Remember when we say about planting those seeds and keep watering them until they grow? Focus on those seeds. Don't focus on those dead plants over there. So anytime you're putting energy into people that don't want it, or putting energy into those people that aren't showing up or aren't doing anything, think to yourself, I could have just spent 10 minutes having a conversation to someone who does want it. And I'm not going to water that dead plant anymore. So, let's see here. Oh, this one's a big one. Never stop growing. Never stop doing trainings. Never stop any of that. Like I said before, you don't have to be perfect, but you need to be present. You need to be showing up. So coming to trainings, watching trainings, listening to new trainings, growing as a leader, growing your mind, taking care of your mind, self-care, books, all these different ways on how you're building like your leadership foundation, I would say. Those are really, really important. And another thing that you want to do as early as possible is offer coaching calls. I've also heard of them called success sessions. Sorry, that one got me. Success sessions. And it's a really good way of saying it too. Coaching calls may be intimidating by wording if people care about that kind of thing. Some people really care about wordings like that, but those are just some different ways of saying it. And don't offer coaching calls to everyone. And I'm not saying that in a way of don't help everyone, but focus on the ones who are putting all the work in. Focus on helping that person who is wanting it. Focus on that person who wants to promote. Focus on that person who wants to quit their job in a year. Focus on that person who wants to be a director in 6 months. Focus on those people first, because they're already showing up, guys. They already care. You don't have to make them care. They already care. And you can't make anyone care, so stop trying that. But, you can really help these people who are showing up anyways. Why not help them? So just think about that in that perspective. And also, like, if people aren't taking up on your offer the first month or the second month, don't be discouraged. Just keep offering those coaching calls. What I usually do is I like to, and I haven't done this in like a month because I've just been kind of like doing new systems and things, but I used to kind of like see, okay, who's some new people who have some new people? Or who's somebody who's showing up more that didn't before? Looking at numbers. Who's someone who is growing fast and growing a lot of people? Or who's someone who has freaking high crazy PRV? Because we all know high PRV is a huge deal. Focus on those things and be like, you know what? They're showing up, they're doing the dang thing, and I can help them keep on climbing up. So I think, guys, let's see here. I think that I actually have it all done right now, which is awesome, 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 awesome. But I'm gonna read and see if there are any questions. First off, y'all are so freaking awesome and sweet. So sweet. So sweet with all this. I know I love the success sessions too. But if you guys don't have any questions, I think that's all that I wanted to share. Let me make sure I don't have anything else on my things here. But yeah, about the coaching. Coaching's huge. One-on-one coaching, that's part of leading. You want to make sure that you are focusing on those people that want it, making sure that you are taking the time to help them. Some people don't. Some people just rock it. They don't even need help. But they definitely would love your encouragement, and they would definitely love you noticing them, because who doesn't love being noticed? Okay, let's see here. I'm worried about going back to full-time teaching in person. What's going on? What do you mean, Mary? What do you mean you're worried about that? Like with your business, how to balance? Oh, definitely talk to Caitlin for sure. That's something that's her word of the year. Mary, you and Caitlin need to talk, because she's a teacher also, and that is her word of the year, is balance. I'm like 99% sure it's balance, and it's something she's been really working on this year, so definitely speak with her. I cannot talk on that way whatsoever, but I have had a job. I think the main thing is just making sure that you make Cincy a priority still, making sure you're finding the time, making sure you're putting those power hours in, focusing on the things like high PRV and, all the things that you need to focus on, and the 3 legs of success, and keep it simple. And Jessica too. Jessica too. You all need to talk. But y'all, I'm jumping off here because I'm going to get prepared for the Zoom. And I just wanted to say thank you all. And also, y'all, this is the last live. And I did not write down the homework. Hold on, but I will look at it, okay? I am so freaking proud of you all. This is the last week. It just hit me that this is the last week. And you all freaking did it. Oh my God, this is incredible. I didn't even think about that at all until like just now. I knew that earlier today, but no, I didn't. Oh my God. Well, I know that we will post the homework. My computer's been kind of slow, and I don't want to keep you all on here anymore because I'm about to jump on the Zoom. Okay? Goodbye, and I'm so proud of you. Freaking be proud of yourselves, because you being proud of yourselves is the most important thing, and that's what's going to push you and to keep going and keep rising up, guys. I'm so proud of you. Director, here you come.